Welcome back to Love Out of Chaos with the Valentines. These are my boys, Patrick and Zachary.
Hey, we back.
And I'm Linda, also Mama Valentine.
Dude, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Episode 3.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about some things that Zach has taught us, be playing some more fun games together. Zach?
Yeah.
Let's dive in. Love Out of Chaos.
Chaos.
It's a beautiful chaos.
Chaos.
All right. So it is still Down Syndrome Awareness Month, right?
It is.
And I thought it would be really cool to talk about what Zach has taught us. So for you, what is the first thing that comes to mind of what Zach has taught you?
I think I mentioned in the previous episode, patience. Sometimes, we throw love around. Oh, I love you, but there's a deep, unconditional love that I don't know if I've ever experienced prior to that in that deep.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's so pure. It's just freely given, right? It just doesn't come with any kind of, what's the word I'm thinking about here?
Conditions. It doesn't come with any conditions.
It's unconditional.
Yeah.
And he really made me think about, even in the deeper of my faith and what that's like, how we experience that unconditional love. And so I know that he was, as all of our kids are, God sent, but I know there's something just deeper that he was here to teach. And that's that love. And you can see him even now as he shares that with others, how he connects with others. It's just pure, and it's a real, true, unconditional love.
Yeah, and I said that too, right? And I had to essentially Google. I was like, what is unconditional love? Like the actual definition of it, right? Because we feel it, and we could say these things and all the nature. And again, it was just like perfect. Is like unconditional love is a type of love that is shared without judgment, in complete trust. It is love without strings attached, offered freely, and not based on what someone does for you in return. It is the boundless, often compared to the kind of love that God or the universe has for us. And is usually defined as selfless and infinite.
That's exactly.
And not contingent upon, again, anything. It's just, here I am. I'm going to love you just as you are, because you are human and you deserve that love, respect, kindness. That
really embodies him. And I don't think, unless you really have come across anyone that has shared that true depths of pure love, that unconditional love, would you really understand? Because I don't think I really understood it. We love our kids, but there was something that he shared that was outside of my complete and total understanding.
Yeah, and I think for me, right, I felt that love at a young age. I felt it around 6 years old, 7 years old when he was born, and it's only grown from there every single day with him and like our relationship as siblings. And he set the bar extremely high for allowing people in my life, whether that is a personal romantic relationship or friendship, because I know that like that love out there exists. And in a lot of ways, I kind of have the mindset of like, I know what I deserve as like a person, as me, right? I deserve that love from other people. And also like on me of like, I should be giving that same love to everyone I meet.
Right, because it's not just a condition of receiving, right? But it really puts your life, it gives you a perspective about, well, if he's he's showing and giving freely this love, I need to reflect on my life.
Yeah.
I need to reflect on what I'm doing and how I'm giving love, not just wanting to receive, but how I want to give, because he makes others feel so special, just, freely giving with nothing in return. And if we all really focused and reflected on those elements of ourselves, we can equally do it.
Yeah.
There is no limitation to the amount of love. It's not something you receive and, you
keep it for yourself.
You keep it for
it's
yourself.
a secret.
No,
You could give that to everyone.
And somehow along the way, we feel like we need to just, save it and not share it because it's going to go away. It's very much the opposite.
That fear that
Yes.
that feeling is going to go away, right? Especially if you've grown up in situations where you may not have felt that type of love, then it's like when you have it for the very first time, and it's like that fear of like, oh, I don't want to lose it. And that fear also comes off negatively, right? Because you're not being your best version of the self, or in that relationship, or in that friendship, or in that family
It hinders your ability
dynamic.
to move forward too.
Mm-hmm.
It hinders your ability for growth. And just imagine how many other people we can impact by doing that same thing that Zachary shares and shows. And we'd have such a bigger impact on our families, on our friends, our communities, right? And I think that goes hand in hand, knowing that within our community, that Down syndrome community, when you're in that space, you just feel it on a magnitude that just is explosive.
Yeah.
It really is. And you walk out thinking, what did I just experience? How is this possible? Especially when you're not there every day, but when you have that.
It's not the norm. It should be.
It should be.
It should be. And everyone you meet, everyone you interact with, right? It should be spreading that love and kindness and making people feel seen for who they are. And because who they are is beautiful. We're all beautiful each and every way. And again, I always think about when we go to events together, and Zach is just wanting to say hi to each person and give them the biggest hug and
He makes
talk to
himself
them.
known.
Everyone
He
knows
really
Zach.
does.
Everyone knows Zach at events. But even then, when he is ready to go on to say hi to another person that maybe he hasn't met, or a friend, he makes sure to introduce everyone to everyone, right? So if we're in a small circle, he's like, say your name to this person, say your name to this person. Like, Patrick, tell them your name, right. Introduce yourself.
Great icebreaker.
Yeah, great icebreaker. But again, it's that just pure love that shines in the littlest ways of saying hi to someone,
right.
Talking to them, and then in the biggest ways of having a conversation, giving a hug, having people feel seen, and everything in between, right? There's an abundance of love to give.
There is.
And we need
there
to do
really
better.
Is.
I always say I need to do better for me, giving that love to others. And I think it's something we could always reflect on internally of right. Hey, there's no reason to not give love to people around you.
If I reflect back on a few instances that, when he was younger, when he was much younger, right? I've told you several times, and I know we laugh about it all the time, that whenever I would go to the grocery store or try to just go in there, run in there for bread, milk, just bare necessities, right? It came to a point where I would have to tell him, okay, no hugs today, okay? Because we got to be in there in 5 minutes. And he said, okay, no hugs, because we go into the grocery store and he's giving hugs all around, right? Obviously nothing wrong with it. But, when mom's on an agenda, I thought for sure a little pep talk, letting him know, okay, but we got to go in there. I just have 5 minutes because we have a place we have to be. No.
Yeah, never fails.
No, never failed.
Yeah.
Half the time I'm walking out of there just laughing, because what I would think would be 5 minutes, it'd be 15, 20 minutes, because no flying under the radar for sure. And, you walk out of there knowing everybody that was in there.
Yeah, I always tell myself if I'm going somewhere with Zach, even just to the grocery store, I have to add double time, at least. Because again, he's going to talk to them, he's going to ask them questions, and a lot of times, like, they ask questions back, right? It's a conversation. You get to know people, and it's thinking how much of a rush we're in.
We are. I'm very guilty of it.
I am 100% guilty, right?
Yeah.
I think I move 1,000 miles per hour every day, especially in my head. Maybe my body is not that fast, right? We're talking about like 10 miles per hour, if that. But I think in my head is just constantly going 1,000 miles per hour. And Zach teaches me a lot too. Hey, take a step back.
Just
pause, live in the moment, enjoy the moment. And again, I'm not the best at that. Still working on it. But I have gotten better over the years because of him, because of like watching him and learning from him every single day in that regard.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I can go on and on about all the little things he's taught me. But I think when I think about the patience and the love that goes hand in hand with that, that's what I really feel is that he's come here. His little life is part of sharing that with us, his family, and everybody else he comes in contact with. Because he has changed some. Like I said, he's had those moments where he changes the mood for someone for the day. It's as if he knows someone who needed the hug for the day.
He has that intuition.
He really does. I think he can really feel.
He could really feel people's emotions and body language. And again, that's how he communicates. Right. A lot of the times, right? It's all the nonverbals. Is a big portion of how he communicates. And yeah, it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to watch.
It's
and
eye-opening.
Experience as a big brother to him. And I think of the other thing that he has constantly taught me from a very young age is this awareness of others. And I go back to the study I remember reading about in college, because I was like, okay, like what other experiences have other siblings like myself that have a sibling with Down syndrome kind of experience, that shared common experience that maybe is like a little different than other siblings. And I came across this article, this research paper, and it's essentially saying that siblings, the one without Down syndrome or the ones without Down syndrome, have like more awareness and understanding and acceptance of differences because we grew up kind of seeing all of it with our sibling.
More aware.
Just all of it, right? All of it in the sense of we saw the injustices that happen. We saw the triumphs that happen. And we're often like the biggest fans of our siblings, even from like the littlest of milestones, because we saw how hard they worked at maybe like learning to walk or learning to talk or whatever it may be. And it's that understanding and awareness and acceptance of differences that I think for me is one of the most important things that he's taught me, because we are all different. We come from all different walks of life. We have all different identities, different experiences, and understanding like all of those are very valuable to the person individually, as well as like us as a society. Like everyone has a value.
Yeah.
And understanding that value is what he's taught me throughout my life.
That's beautiful. I think just listening to you express it, right? I understand it in a way that not only just as a mom, right? We talk about this all the time. As a mom, we always want to see our kids, get along, but just to see and to know that your own, your sibling, your brother has taught you something that's so valuable to you and has made the makeup of your character as well. It really has. And I can see that. I can see the evolution, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's only the surface of what I feel like he's taught me. And I could only imagine the surface of what he's taught you. And I'm sure we'll dive much deeper into those.
We have so much to share
as the episodes come along and the stories come along, because again, there's so much reflection that I have in all of it, and just gratitude and knowledge. And I was like, wow, this is truly amazing. So we thought it would be a really cool segment to answer questions that people are afraid to ask about Down syndrome. So we've gathered these questions that many people have asked us on our personal life, as well as the comment section of all our social media channels. And I think there's going to be a lot of nuance and a lot of eye-opening moments of these questions. So let's just dive right in. With the first one is, can people with Down syndrome drive? You want to answer that? To me, it's a simple answer, but the answer is yes. Yes, of course. So I don't know where the misconception came from of people with Down syndrome can't drive or anything of that nature, but we get that question a lot of, can people with Down syndrome drive? And it's interesting. I say interesting loosely because we know Zach can't drive.
Right.
And we understand that is not Zach's strength at all. I think us playing Mario Kart, he's running into the wall quite a bit. And somehow he still beats me. But besides the point, but we've known other people with Down syndrome that can drive. And I don't know if people are asking like specifically about Zach or about other people with Down syndrome.
I think it's both. You see the questions come up because watching the videos between both of you, maybe first time, right? First time they actually see someone who is a creator. And so now they have all these questions. Wow, here is a moment that I'm having. I want to know, do individuals with Down syndrome, are they able to drive, or is Zachary able to drive? Obviously, it's an individual case by case. So, like for Zachary, well, no. We know that. I know that. But it's beautiful to see that other individuals who drive and so many other things, and you celebrate those moments because of the misconceptions, because of...
I think it's always like this case-by-case basis, It's based off the individual. I always think about, and maybe some of you all know too, I know people that don't have Down syndrome that can't drive or like don't want to, right? And for whatever reason.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I kind of try to answer both of like, yes, in general, people can with Down syndrome drive. Zach cannot.
Right.
He is not aware enough to have that behind the wheel that is necessary. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. No. We're not comparing him to others. Like, Zach has his own strengths.
Those are just not going to be part of those hopes and dreams. We have other ones,
Never know what happens. I always say never know what happens in the future, but there's not an indication that that's going to happen anytime soon. And like, it's the baby steps of things.
Right.
The next question people asked, can people with Down syndrome have kids? Do you know the answer to this?
Yes, they can.
It was interesting in doing research on this question because if you look at older articles, there was actually research that said people with Down syndrome can't have kids.
Can or can't? Can't. That was part of the research.
That was part of the research.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was part of the research that people with Down syndrome could not have kids. The methodology was a little bit of didn't seem like the best methodology as someone that has a master's degree, again, my opinion.
Right.
But the conclusion was that individuals with Down syndrome were infertile. And this was out there in the medical publication of things. I think it brings up this conversation of, even if there's research behind it, sometimes that's not even true.
Oh.
And I say sometimes because, again, I go back to the methodology of this research, and I'm very research driven. I love research, very analytical in that sense. Like, there's a background to that for me. But you kind of see that even the limitations of those researchers in the medical field, their scope is like right here. And their conclusion was, oh, individuals with Down syndrome are infertile. And as time went on, and conversations and more acceptance, and individuals with Down syndrome were putting into less group homes and more accepted into society, all these misconceptions that one as a society we had, but maybe even as research we had, it's not actually true. And I was trying to dig deep more into like this research, and like there's not enough research on it. There's like not enough research on it. So kind of the conclusion in that is they may struggle to rear children more than someone that doesn't have Down syndrome, whether it's because of their sperm count or, again, I don't know. But we don't have enough research to be like,
right.
this is why, this is how, if people with Down syndrome want children, this is what we could do. We don't have that knowledge.
That is interesting. I've always known that they could. Obviously not everyone. But because I had seen, articles where couples would get married and have a child. I don't know what the statistics are about even someone that has a child that has Down syndrome, what those statistics are about having a child with Down syndrome. But that would be interesting.
Yeah, again, maybe I'm not a good deep dive person, FBI agent like you, but I couldn't fully find those statistics and like that knowledge. And again, it did talk about how there was this misconception before, and now there just needs to be more research on it.
Oh.
So if you are a researcher, educator, in the medical field, and something you're passionate about to like look more into, it's important. We need it, because also like research like helps with funding for people with Down syndrome. Research helps with understanding and more awareness and acceptance into the world. So I'm a big advocate of research. It's important. So this is more specific to us individually, but what are the challenges as a mother to having a child with Down syndrome?
I can't speak for everyone, right? And each child with Down syndrome is very different. With Zachary, the challenges for me was his medical challenges and learning how to navigate through that. Like you said, we talk about research, not understanding like what would be the next step for me. Those were some of the challenges for me. As a mom, I think in general is how to continue to live your life while navigating through this. I think even having you, right, some of those challenges I felt were trying to make sure that you still had opportunities in your life, right? Make sure that we still attended to your needs. And those were not always very easy. And not that it's supposed to be easy, but it created other challenges for me. And resources. I think even Zachary's 24 now, 24 years old. I think knowing 24 years ago the resources available are nothing comparison to what is available today.
Yeah.
And I would say that is probably one of the biggest challenges.
And the community too, especially with social media, that boom of the community around.
Yeah. I think anyone can go anywhere now, especially through like the website, website online. Everything is so much more accessible. Any kind of information through the social media. Even today, just watching communities become so much more close and united to help those next generation, even of families, to navigate through those challenges, because every family has different challenges, whether it's medical, educational, family,
And how you get through those challenges together as a family is really through like that support system is one big indication of that. And again, I think as humans, we are more resilient than we often think we are individually. Yeah. And we could do it by ourselves is what I believe. And it is way easier when you have that support system, when you have that love behind you. And that's what those resources are important for. And that's what that community is important for, because it's like right behind you. It's like, let's do this together. They always say in raising a child, I haven't been fortunate enough to do that yet. One day, right?
Right.
But they always say it takes a village.
It does.
They always say it takes a village. And
that was honestly, I think, part of one of my biggest challenges is just feeling alone in this journey. And I didn't have, as we continue to, our family continued to just navigate through the years, I think I really didn't have that. I didn't have that real like support around me on a daily. It was hard to create even more relationships because I was so focused on making sure that, we had what we needed, or navigating through Zachary's medical. You were always really active. We were, such a big sports family. So
we were. Still are.
Yes, I know. And during those times, yes, we started early on with a lot of love and a lot of support. And the love was always there. But I don't think family and friends, even for me, knew how to maybe integrate themselves.
They didn't know how to connect.
They didn't know how to connect.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to really genuinely connect to even like Zachary's needs or my needs, or because the needs changed, completely changed.
They changed within like weeks or days, even sometimes. It
was no longer a typical family dynamic, right? It was a lot more. I was navigating through things that, as I was evolving through it, navigating through it. Looking back now, it was, and it's not always easy to ask for help either, because you don't know what kind of help you're trying to ask for. You just find yourself in places and situations, say, okay, this is hard, and it's getting harder. And now it's getting to a place in the point where not only am I just overwhelmed, but I don't even know if I'm going left or right. Again, survival mode, right?
Yeah, you don't know what questions to ask. You don't know how to ask for help. It's just
trying to just figure it out.
Type of feeling. And
but
you don't have that time to think about it because you're trying to make sure you're surviving, right? Or like surviving as a family, right? Like as a mother, and it's even elevated when it's like, hey, all this medical stuff, open heart surgery casually,
right?
You're in survival mode. Yeah. I think for me, the biggest challenge that I always say in having a brother with Down syndrome is everyone else.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, like, we're each other's best friend. we're brothers, we're best friends, we're a ride or die type of people for each other. Like, we always got each other's back. And why I say everyone else is because the negative perceptions obviously bothered me a lot as a kid. But I think as a kid, when you constantly hear these negative perceptions or constantly hear these negative things about people with Down syndrome or about your brother with Down syndrome, you start to feel like a little bit alone. And that, again, isn't about Zach. That is about everyone else's, lack of a better term, like BS. It really is. It really is like their own stuff to work through or their own negative things to work through. And I think as a young kid, you kind of take that in a little bit more. And as an adult, I've learned to be like, oh, I don't care about your opinion. Like, I don't care one bit. You cannot tell me my relationship with my brother. You cannot tell me how not great my brother is because I know he is like the greatest person in the world. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. And so I think growing up, that was always a challenge because you feel this one way in the relationship, and yet society, teachers, even sometimes coaches, right? Like people that you're supposed to look up to and like be role models, were saying something else. And you didn't know how to like compute that in your head because it was like, oh, these are adults. They should know better than me as a 12-year-old kid or as a teenager. Like, they should know better. They're smarter. They're adults. And that was like a really, really hard challenge for me, navigating through all those feelings and emotions. Now it's easy. I don't care.
Right.
Now I get it. Now I understand. I reflect on it.
It's part of our own maturity.
Yeah.
And understanding too where to extend grace. You know, understanding that education, that's why education is so important. That's why communication is so important, because these miscommunications, these moments that do arise, because I know families, everybody, one way or another has gone through it. And when you see yourself in those difficult situations, you know, I always say it's just better to talk it through, try to understand from where someone is coming from. Not easy, never easy.
Of course.
You know, even for myself, just thinking about how many times, you know, like you say, you're so frustrated, but also realizing that that person is going through something else. Like you said, something internal.
Yeah, something internal for them, or their lack of awareness. Goes back to like, sometimes people just don't know how to like receive or even give love because of their own stuff and own situation, right? And when you fully understand maybe the struggles that other people are going through, like, you stop taking it so personal about you or about your family, and you start offering that grace and that love. Because again, it goes back to, no matter what, everyone deserves to be loved. You ready for the game now?
Yeah.
Let's do the game. So in today's game, we are having a misconception/Down syndrome facts. So I'm going to be saying a statement, and you're going to say whether that statement is true or false.
Don't forget to comment in the comment section.
No.
True. Zachary's amazing. True.
Oh, that is very true.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Statement number 1. People with Down syndrome are always happy.
Bald.
False. Are you not always happy, man?
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, too.
That is false.
That is truly false.
Two. Bald. OT.
True, false challenge?
Challenge. Oh.
This is the truth.
Yeah, there
that's
is a lot of
fine.
misconception that people with Down syndrome are always happy. And
I hear this all the time.
yeah.
All the time. I don't
I
understand.
see it in our comments all the time too. People always think Zach's happy like 24/7. People with Down syndrome go through ranges of emotions just like anyone else. So yes, Zach is happy a lot of the time in life, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, he might be a little sleepy and yawning.
Oh, yeah.
The range of emotions is true for everyone. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right, next one. There is only one type of Down syndrome. False. So there is 3 types of Down syndrome: trisomy 21 or T21, the one
Which
that
is
Zach
what
has.
Zachary has.
It's the most common. I think it's around like 90-something%. Don't know the exact,
Yes.
but and then translocation, as well as mosaic Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got T21.
Yeah.
There you go. The next statement: Down syndrome is the most common chromosomal condition.
Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, and
You bald.
No, it is true.
it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. Sorry, man.
2.
You can't change your answer. You didn't get it right. You didn't get it right, man.
Silly.
We are not cheating. We are not cheating. I'm just telling you the statement's a fact.
Yeah.
And the fact is, I got it right and you did not. So winner, and I'll have you take this. Here you go. Go ahead, take that. Take the L.
Nice.
So 1 in 772 babies in the United States are born with Down syndrome.
That has really changed a lot since the last time when he was born. Yeah.
Do you know the statistics when he was born?
Back then, wow. Back then it was closer to like more like 1,500.
1,500, okay.
Yeah.
There
Somewhere
we
in
go.
that.
I wonder if it was like more reporting or
Maybe. I mean,
more knowledge.
I'm sure. Yeah.
More knowledge, maybe. The life expectancy for people with Down syndrome is 50 years old.
False?
It is false.
Bald.
It is false. No, you said true. You can't take back your answer.
was-
It's not
I
how
was
life
50
works.
I was thinking 56, but I don't know.
You're close. You are close. It is 60 years old is the life expectancy now. And so it has
that's
grown.
changed too. That's
yeah. No, it's false. You were right on the
You were
false.
right.
You were right.
You got it right.
Stick to your intuition, man. Stick to your gut.
It's going back and forth.
Stick to your gut. It has grown significantly. So in 1983, it was 25 years old.
Oh,
Was the life
wow.
expectancy. And so a lot of people are attributing to that rise in life expectancy for more awareness and acceptance, as well as like less people with Down syndrome being put into group homes and in
Early intervention has, I'm sure, a lot to do with it.
early
'cause that-
intervention as well. And people with Down syndrome have just been put in better conditions and opportunities instead of just,
right.
lack of a better term, back then it was they were,
Yeah. Institutionalized.
institutionalized. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
the hard reality. Yeah.
Yep. And so actually the thing with that too is, so that life expectancy hasn't grown as much with people with minoritized identities. And again, going back, there's not enough research to kind of
Right.
fully dive into why. Again, the assumptions are socioeconomic status, lack of medical professionals listening to people of color in the medical field. So those are like the potential assumptions, but still need more research on that to solidify these things and understand the discrepancies and disparities for people of color and that have Down syndrome on why life expectancy is lower than their counterparts. Ready?
no.
Rapid fire. People with Down syndrome are shorter in stature. True.
2. Ball.
You wish it was false, man. You wish you were taller. Honestly, I wish I was taller too.
Hey, you're the perfect size, right? Just say I'm perfect.
True.
True.
Zachary's perfect. True. There is a cure for Down syndrome. False.
False.
That's it? Okay.
Down syndrome is not a disease. So
Yeah.
there's no cure.
That is true. Or false, but what you said is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Ready? People with Down syndrome can live alone.
Ready? Ready?
True.
Two.
True.
Two.
Zach, do you ever want to live alone? That's a no.
That's a big no.
That's a no. That's a no. But yes, there is a lot of assisted living facilities. People with Down syndrome can live on their own or with roommates, or in our case, Zach lives with family. And I would say he loves that.
Yes.
Again, it goes back to what...
Says the bigger the better.
Yeah, the bigger the family, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes back to, it's important to listen to the individual with Down syndrome of what they want in their future and their living situation. And so, you know, Zach's going to be living with family for the foreseeable future, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valentine family. Valentine family on three. One, two,
two,
three. Valentine family.
Two.
True.
True.
Valentine family, true.
Who do you think won that challenge?
Me.
We weren't keeping score, but
Yeah.
I would say I won. Anyways, dun dun. Mr. Zachary Valentine. What Crocs are you wearing today?
Oh, yeah.
What Crocs are you wearing today, man?
Gray.
Silver. You're wearing silver today.
Yeah.
You're wearing silver. Is it the shine, the glittery shine?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gray silver.
The
Those
gray
are nice.
silver.
Let me see. Show
Show them. Show the camera.
Oh.
Oh.
Looking good.
Fire!
Fire.
Honestly, I do love the fit from you today. You are looking fantastic. You are
Great and
looking
blue.
fire.
You look great in blue.
Honestly, you do. I know gold's your favorite color.
No.
No.
It's gray.
Oh, silver's your favorite color today?
You wish I called it.
It's
Oh,
gray,
you're saying gray?
It's gray silver.
It's gray
Hi,
silver.
Mom.
My bad.
He
My
knows
bad.
it is gray, so
is
it's gray silver.
Gray silver. My fault.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know my colors
You
very
don't.
well.
Yeah.
It's okay. We will.
We'll let him know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go back to first grade on that one.
I got shit about it.
Maybe it's before that, actually. It might be
Okay.
preschool.
Is it so?
Yeah. Don't throw salt on the wound out here, man.
Yeah.
You know, Zachary, you look like you're sitting on a bench of sunshine.
We're happy with Pop.
He wants to be SpongeBob. He wants to feel like he's sitting on SpongeBob, apparently.
SpongeBob is yellow, too. I don't know.
Oh, like that? Okay, all right.
Is that what SpongeBob does?
Yeah, he kind of does. Like, I'm ready. You know, that little run.
I think he's got it
I
down.
love the acting. I love it. I
Yeah.
see it. I
Yeah.
visually see it. I understand it. Again, you're not wearing any yellow, but you're sitting on yellow. And I agree with Mom. It does look like you're sitting on a bed of sunshine because you, sir, are sunshine.
You are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's time for one of my favorite segments of the podcast, Golden Moments. Mom, what is your golden moment?
Listening to your talk about how you shared about those feelings, right? Because we don't always share feelings. When you're younger, I can see the internal struggle. And having you express your feelings, I think was a golden moment to realize how sometimes we don't really think or believe that a child who is 6 years old is really going through probably the same thing you're going through. The concerns, the fears, right? And my golden moment is just realizing that watching you, I knew you were struggling, you know, watching you, but I also knew that you were just so full of love as you are today. And just feeling that and watching you like that feels like a golden moment because it's come full circle in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it just, it connects those two moments for me.
It like validates what you were seeing.
Yes.
Yeah. I think for me, it took a while to be comfortable like sharing those feelings, right? I think as like a Hispanic man, like I never seen men really share their feelings growing up. So I always thought it's like, okay, I shouldn't. It's not quote unquote man enough. And all those other misconceptions on what a man is supposed to be. And again, I don't put that on like you. It's just like what I've seen outside, right? What I've seen in my life and the men in my life, or even in TV and movies. So yeah, I think I find more power in sharing those feelings, not only for myself and like my healing journey over time, but for others, you know, like letting people know that, hey, your feelings are valid and should share them, whether it's on a podcast, here we are, or with a therapist or with a friend or a family member, you know, because we all need someone to talk to about our feelings.
Yeah, we do. I think it really helps. And just watching you and listening to you, and like you say, part of that healing journey, like that brings it all together and connects it together and validates those moments. And I can still see you, just watching you now, I can still see that 6-year-old, you know, child, my son. I mean, I think that's what moms do anyways, but
Sure.
yeah, I think that is.
Yeah, I think my golden moment is really reflecting how lucky and grateful I am to be Zach's brother. Seeing him thrive and like God could have gave me any other sibling and he like knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. I say that all the time.
He's like, you need a Zachary in your life. Here you go. And it's just like this indescribable like feeling of just gratitude to be in his life and have him be in my life and see him thrive every single day and continuing our relationship. And so excited to see our relationship continue to grow. I think it's just like I think it's just really my golden moment. Thank you all for watching and listening with the Valentines. I'm Patrick Valentine. This is
Zachary Valentine.
And I'm Linda, Mama Valentine.
Make sure to subscribe, comment any questions that you may have for future episodes.
Yeah.
And as always, see you next week.
It's a beautiful chaos.
It's probably chaos.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.